Hello YouTube, in this video I will break down how this Swain Support build works and why it becomes so hard to deal with over time. We will start with Swain's passive and ultimate, then the item synergy, and finally how to play fights correctly once the build comes online. Let me quickly explain how Swain passive works. Swain's passive gives him soul fragments whenever he pulls enemies, hits them with his second ability, or when champions die near him. Each fragment does two things. It permanently gives you bonus health and it heals you based on your maximum health and ability power. So basically Swain scales in a very unique way. He doesn't just get tankier by buying items. He gets permanent max HP directly from fighting. Now add his ultimate on top of that. While your ultimate is active, you damage enemies and heal yourself every second, scaling with ability power. After we know all that, the question is which item gives us even more bonus health? That's right, it's Heartsteel. Okay, we're getting lots of HP, but what about our damage and defensive stats? Here comes the Psychic Projector. You gain bonus health from your passive and from Heartsteel by proccing it. Psychic Projector then converts that bonus health into ability power and even gives you armor and magic resist based on that ability power. So one stat feeds into the next. Health gives you damage, damage gives you healing, and healing keeps you alive long enough to stack even more health. Add Twin Guard for extra resistances and Gargoyle for a massive shield in team fights, and suddenly you are one of the hardest champions to kill in the entire game. But if even this is not enough for you, from where else we can get even more healing and bonus health? Oh yeah, the runes. Fleet Footwork provides you healing, attack speed for easier Heartsteel procs, and movement speed which helps you to keep the enemies in your ult range. Unshakable gives you extra armor and MR, also slow resist. Bomb plating reduces incoming damage. And Overgrowth, guess what? More bonus health. For last rune, Nimbus Cloak or Axiom Arcanist, but I would recommend Axiom for playing Swain on mids rather than support. This build is extremely strong, but only against the right enemy compositions. If you wanna know when Swain is a good pick and when it's a mistake, I have explained that in detail in the guide linked in the pinned comment. Go and check it out. During the laning phase, your main goal is to stack your passive as much as possible. You do that by consistently hitting your second and third ability whenever you get the chance. At the same time, you want to rush Heartsteel and start stacking it as early as possible. Keep in mind that skipping mana boots limits how long you can stay in early fights, so you need to manage your mana carefully and avoid wasting spells. The correct combo to get passive stacks starts with your E, or third ability. Once the enemy is rooted, place your W either on top of them or slightly in front. The last step is important. If you don't pull the enemy, you won't get any stacks from your third ability. So the combo is simple: E, W, E. Landing your third ability can be tricky, because it's easy to dodge, but there is a simple trick that makes it much more reliable. Wait for the enemy to position close to the minion wave, then aim your E so it hits both the minions and the enemy. This way you effectively expand the root area and make it much harder to dodge. This is especially useful in lane where enemies naturally play around the wave. Here in this case Nautilus didn't respect our level advantage and attempted to engage on our ADC, and I found it okay to try and get some additional stacks. And the fight was going well until the enemy jungler appeared. As you can see, he executed our Vayne. After that I was still feeling okay to gain some additional stacks. I see that Victor was rotating and we kinda overextended because it was visible that Irelia was also heading to bot. And here only if my E hit them they would be dead too for sure. Anyway, now we have our Heartsteel and it's time for the real stacking. Our jungler here staying in the bush and looking for gank gave Vayne some confidence, and Unfortunately, she ended up dying. I don't know what he was doing in that bush, just staying and watching, and after that, when the fight started, he just left. Whatever. For us, it was important to get some stacks already, not only on our passive, but on Heartsteel too. So why is stacking bonus health so important? To activate Psychic Projector's passive, you need at least 950 bonus health. Once that condition is met, every point of bonus health starts giving you more ability power. And because Psychic Projector also converts ability power into armor and magic resist, the more health you stack, the tankier and stronger you become.
The enemy team has slain the Rift Herald.
Do not try my patience. I peer through the darkness others fear.
First turret destroyed.
As a support, I'm not here to one-shot people. My job is to be a problem the enemy team cannot ignore. Even with this build, you don't engage blindly, especially before getting your second item. If my ult is down, I play slow. If my team can't follow, I don't force fights. Thanks to Irelia's kindness, I luckily get the kill, and now I have my mana boots in base. As we spoke earlier, getting our boots will allow us to spam our abilities more, which is likely to result in more stacks.
Again, all the crimes I've committed, and I'll tell you the price of victory. Diplomacy is a subtle art. I cannot lead if I allow.
It seems like Echo really likes me, so he gives us another visit while I'm trying to get some vision. And even in this fight, with only one item completed, you can already see how hard I am to kill. Now imagine how this looks once I get my second and third item. By the way, if you're still watching, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more WildRift content.
Decisions have consequences. This I know well.
Usually I'm not doing this, but after participating in 5 out of our 6 kills, I started realizing that I'm the winning condition in this game. So I knew that I had to start farming and get my items in order to carry. I can see that the enemies are deep in our jungle trying to find picks, but again with my ult down I'm only trying to back them off without engaging.
Gathering intelligence.
Attack this champion. Under attack.
Not forget it.
Danger in attack enemy bottom lane.
With my ultimate coming up in a few seconds, defending the bottom turret is actually a good decision. Nocturne focuses the wrong target here, but Vayne and Victor join the fight and help us clean up.
You are on a killing spree. Enemy slain. Ally slain. Rampage. Danger.
I am 500 gold away from getting Psychic Projector when this build will shine. So my goal is to get them as soon as possible. Samira and Nautilus are overextending on bot lane. At first I only wanted to cancel their recall and mess with their tempo. Baron is spawning in 30 seconds. but then I find a really good engage and it ends up going very badly for them. Unfortunately, Nocturne takes a 1v3 fight and we lose the chance to force Baron with numbers advantage. From a macro perspective, 30 seconds before Baron you should already be recalling, buying items and covering this side of the map. Watching the replay here, I made a mistake not buying Gargoyle at this point of the game. And here comes a time when you can actually see how strong this build is. After we take Irelia out, I instantly flash in 1v3. My healing is already insane, they simply cannot burst me down. My first priority here is Samira. Once she is dead, Nautilus and Mordekaiser don't have the damage to deal with me.
Dominating.
But let's be real and show you also what kind of stupid mistakes you should avoid even though you are so strong. I'm chasing Keiko like an idiot, trying to keep my ultimate active, not noticing that Samira and Naut are flanking. Meanwhile, Victor is just standing there completely alone. I die from the chase, they kill Victor, and just like that, free Baron for the enemy. Luckily, it's still okay though. I just got my Twin Guard and now I'm a big problem for the enemy team. They are being smart utilizing the Baron buff, applying it to all 3 lanes. Because as you know, since the new season, Riot brought back the good old Baron buff, where you actually have to use it properly, not just having the lanes automatically pushed by all the waves having the buff without any champion's presence.
Top turret is under attack. Attack this champion. Turret lost.
One more demon when I already have.
Enemy slain. Ally slain. Enemy slain.
To be honest, Vayne and Seth did some really good job here winning the fight on bot lane. What I did here was to buy them some time and let them push freely so they could take an inhibitor on the opposite side of the Baron, creating pressure for the enemies when it is about to spawn.
Ally slain. Enemy turret destroyed.
Me dying here wasn't a big issue. We got the inhibitor without giving any, I got some stacks, and there were no available objectives which could help the enemies to end the game. And just watch this is crazy. I'm literally walking all over them, they can't do anything to stop me. Only this Echo is giving me a hard time catching him. About your fourth and fifth items, they should be always situational. First, I want to remind you that Misty not having Gargoyle is dumb. But why I decided to go for Thornmail? Samira and Irelia have their vamp boots, Echo is healing from his suit, and nobody from our team found it necessary to get some anti-heal. In the rare cases when you actually get to the point to sell your support item and look for a fifth one, you have lots of options like Malignance, Mantle, Spirit of Nature, Trident. So your job is to find what your team is lacking and what the enemy comp and items provide them with. After Nocturne does a great job by not recalling on time when both Baron and other dragon are available, he gets killed, so my only play here was to force a fight and not let them contest the Drake. And the enemies were smart enough to fall for such a fight, instead of forcing the objective. I will let you enjoy the results. Appreciate you watching the whole thing. If you had fun with this gameplay breakdown, let me know in the comments, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to join the journey. See you in the next one.